Well, in the lead up to the election, 39 Dunedin News has invited all local candidates to come into the studio for an interview. Tonight, Hamish Walker of the National Party joins us to talk about why he's running for the Dunedin South electorate. Good evening, Hamish.
Good evening, Rebecca.
Tell us a wee bit about yourself.
I'm born and bred from Dunedin, very passionate about Dunedin and its people. I went to school at John McGlashan College. I've worked a number of different interesting jobs since leaving school. I was a fisherman for a year based in Kiritani in the west coast. I was then a police jailer, and I was lucky enough to be on a reality television show during that year of fishing, and that triggered my interest in film and television. And I studied at Aoraki Polytechnic, which is just along the road there. More recently I studied accounting, and I have a business, a property management business.
And how long have you been involved in politics?
My first foray into politics was at university. I wasn't happy how the school I was studying was being run, so that was my first involvement in politics. But I think, you know, all these jobs that I've worked, the conversation always comes back to politics, and I always enjoyed listening to the robust debate, whether it's a deckhand on a fishing boat or a lawyer or a business person. So I found that whatever job it was, the conversation always came back to politics.
Now, you're running for the first time for the Dunedin South electorate. What do you perceive are the main issues there?
Over the last few months I've attended a lot of candidate debates. I've been doing a lot of door knocking. At the moment I'm visiting businesses every day, so I've had the opportunity to speak to a lot of people. There's no one real issue, but over the electorate, which runs from Tyro Heads up to Middlemarch, there's every community has a different issue. For example, the peninsula, you've got the road widening. Dunedin South, it's obviously housing. Middlemarch, it's transport, and in Mosgiel, it's sort of an ageing population. So there's no one real issue, but there's a whole heap. So that's what's so good about being a candidate, is that you get to get around the different communities and talk to a lot of different people.
How do you propose to address some of those issues?
I think first and foremost I'll be a strong voice for all the people living in Dunedin South, whether it's on the peninsula or Middlemarch. But I think it's very important to remember that you need to keep the economy growing. Why is it important? It provides tax for things like hospitals, schools and roading projects.
Why should people vote for you?
As I said, I'll be a strong voice for them in Parliament, and I can guarantee that I'll knock on every door in Parliament to ensure that my people are represented, and I look forward to Saturday night when I'm hopefully given that opportunity.
What will you do if you don't win?
Good question. What will I do if I don't win? To be honest, I haven't thought past midnight tomorrow night. We're allowed to campaign right up until midnight on Friday, but I think one thing I've learnt over the last few months is that I've fallen back in love with Dunedin. So I guess I'll be hunting around for a job, but I think first I'll have a good holiday.
Tell us about some of the current government initiatives that you're fully in support of.
One that's passionate with me and which really affects the electorate is the housing. Over the last few years, Housing New Zealand have come up with a report a few months ago which said that the government's insulated every single state home that we possibly can, and we've also insulated up to 300,000 private homes for the electorate. That's a biggie.
Who do you hope to see as Prime Minister?
Oh, I'd be pretty rude if I didn't say John Key. I think with John, he's probably the best Prime Minister we've ever had. He's a lovely guy. He gets on with people from all walks of life. So yeah, obviously I'd have to say John Key.
What's been one of the best things about being in politics that you've found so far?
Definitely meeting all sorts of people. You know, you might meet someone who can't even put food on the table for someone in the morning, and then an hour later you might be meeting with, for example, a lawyer, and then the next person you might be someone like yourself and the cameraman here. So the best thing for me is really just getting out and meeting all sorts of people.
Hamish Walker, Dunedin South candidate for the National Party, good luck for Saturday. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks very much.